The first time I met him was on a movie called a TV series called The Green Hornet. He was the driver for the Stars, and the driver was supposed to do all the beating up of the bad guys, but he didn't like to fight. So Bruce Lee said, "I fight 5, 10 people at once." I said, "That's great, you're gonna run out of stunt guys." That's what made him. When I first went there, nobody knew him. And he got quite a bit of fame from the Green Hornet. But it was different. It was a different time. Like, I was a stuntman, I go to roll a car, and I slide the corner, they cut the cameras, turn it on the side, and have some smoke coming out of the radiator. Hot ice and water, and then you're crawling out of the window, because nobody gets killed, you just get beat up. But now, hell, they'll hit a pipe ramp and roll it a few times, and some guys would make extra money. With Bruce, he was an interesting personality, demanded respect. So Benny Dobbins, the stunt coordinator, the guy that hired me, he says, "Well, tease this guy a little bit," and that's what the stunt guys do, and make him part of a family. So he says, "Well, pick him up." And I weighed about 185 and he weighed 130. And it wasn't a contest or anything, I just snatched him and picked him up and held him in what wrestlers call a crouching Nelson. Only you have one arm between his legs, one around the neck, and he's stuck. Then I ran down the stage and ran back. And just to tease, when he got famous, I wouldn't do it because he was a man. So he says, "Put me down or I'll kill you." So when I come back, I'm sitting around a chair with a bunch of stunt guys and a few actors. He says, "Put me down, I'll kill you." I says, "I can't put you down, you'll kill me." And that was done with fun and games. And then he says, "You've got to come to my dojo and do gung fu." And I says, "Well, I don't eat anything that doesn't have horns on it. What's this gung fu? Some kind of a oriental fish?" And he says, "When you talk to me, you give respect." And he'd either look you straight in the eye, or he'd glare right next to you. It was kind of interesting. Of course, I teased him on it all the time until he learned that I was teasing. Sometimes he'd take it as an offense. Before I say something, I want to tell you this is Bruce Lee was one of the most talented athletes I've ever seen or worked with, and as a person, he was twice that. Great guy. So I says, "Hell, I'll go down to his dojo." Well, his school, our mats were thick, and he had just a thin tatami, which is about 1/8 of an inch thick, and if you fall on it, it'll break your gluteus maximus. And so I said, "Well, hell, you better come down to my school if you want to work," because he wanted to get into wrestling. The judo, what they call wrestling, judo's a form of wrestling. The words are different. The techniques are the same. Instead of saying ogochi, you'd say the hip lock, you know, this translation. They're all the same for thousands of years. And a lot of the people in the MMA, they come up with these new sayings. Namablata, the guard, different things. They're all old wrestling holds, professional wrestling holds. Not the people you see on TV, but real down-to-earth wrestling. And he wanted to get onto that. He wanted to learn. He was a stand-up fighter. What he wanted to get onto is finishing holds on the ground. Arm locks, leg locks, neck locks, twisting the body around. He had all the potential of being a sadistic bastard. Not like me. I'm nice and everybody treats me nice. Because I'm not sadistic like Bruce Lee. Then he worked out with me for about a year, on and off. Once he'd come twice a week, once he would skip a week. And he'd work out in the afternoon. He'd like to do it when nobody is around. And he showed me some things, spinning kicks where you jump high in the air, do a spin once or twice around, like the ballet dancers do. And I use the technique in a lot of movies, being a stunt man. And I've been looking around for the last 20 years and I can't find the jump that he taught me. It's lost somewhere. I can't even spin around anymore, but I made a lot of money doing it. I worked with him on Ironside, and he got me a couple other jobs because he liked the way I took falls. And so he mentioned my name, and that's how stunt guys get hired. It was good. I don't know the other show he hired me on, but Ironside, I guess, was one of them. And we did some routines. And I do adagio stuff where I pick him up, flip him around, he'd land on his feet, and then he'd give me a what for, and good would triumph over evil. Very light on his feet. He had a lot of, he was different. See, what he'd throw is 37 punches in 5 seconds. Well, the stuntman or the actor who was taking the fall, he says, where are they all coming from? Here, there, like it's raining cats and dogs. And Benny Dobbins, the stunt coordinator, says, hey, Bruce, you'll have to slow down. Throw one punch and it'll be like a knockout. But he says, that's not boom fool. You gotta do 37 holds and kicks and bites and scratches and then do it. And getting the reaction, the stuntman had to adjust to what he was doing. And the ones that could adjust got hired on the next episode. I thought the man was an excellent martial artist, very well coordinated, and he was a lot taller than Bruce. In fact, I worked on this show and I just got a rapid fire. Yeah, I got a big fat residual. So I'll be able to eat meat tonight with horns. Brandon and Bruce both died years too soon. They've both been, well, they're both gods to me now, and they both walk on water. I just it's a shame that they're both gone. But I feel bad there, but I've been dead 15 years myself. But I can still walk. My fondest memory of Bruce Lee was he was a generous man. Bruce Lee was loyal. And he was working out with me and he said, Gene, you come to Hong Kong and work on a movie, Enter the Dragon. I said, Enter the Dragon? They've been dead for 2 or 3 months. He says, no, I am the dragon. I looked around for a tail, I didn't see it. And he'd get a little bit irritated with me because I was teasing him. He said, you'll make $200 a week, which was good money then. But I was making $1,000 a week and more just working on westerns around here. In other words, I've been around since the last summer. And then when he finally did come back, he came to the dojo and he told me about all the people that worked there. Many of them were my friends, Chuck Norris and Bob Wall, and a lot of them aren't around anymore. Of course, it's been a long time ago. When he came back, it was a thrill that he was so happy, and he did a job on that movie, and it was Enter the Dragon. It's a classic. According to our the way we think now, it wasn't done. There wasn't enough cuts, cutaways, POVs, the actor's vision, but a lot of action. And the martial artists loved the action. And to me, Bruce Lee made martial arts. A lot of great martial artists. But when they talk about Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee, and they say he was the father of martial arts, grandfather. I'm the great-grandfather, because I was around a little bit before him. One thing I would say, we're still rolling, everybody that's a martial artist want to be like the great Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, he was a god. I wanted to be like Bruce in his talent and everything, but I want to be a lot taller than him. He was a little bit shorter than me, but I loved him anyway.